We heard from billionaire investor Warren Buffett. He spoke with our Betty Lou at a restaurant in Midtown Manhattan as part of his annual charity event. Here's Betty with the highlights and a guest. Betty?
That's right, and maybe a low light right now, Mark, is that after the interview, it started raining. So as you can see, the both of us getting a little bit soaked here after the interview. But I do want to give you some highlights. You know, Buffett was telling us that he would support Bernanke, the renomination of him. He thought he was doing a fantastic job with the banking industry, but also he seemed to differ with the Barack Obama administration, the president, in terms of whether or not we might need a second stimulus package. Hear what he had to say.
I think you may very well have to do it. So I don't know the answer to that now. But I would say this: so far, you know, it looks like we're going to need more medicine, not less.
Well, you might be wondering who this is. This guy sitting next to me or standing next to me is Spier. He's the CEO of Aquamarine Capital. And the reason why he's with us is that he had the lunch last year with Warren Buffett, along with his colleague and friend, Monish Pabrai. And Guy, you know, Buffett, Zhao Danyang, the both of them, the Chinese central manager, are having lunch right now. Tell us what it's like. I mean, what do you go through with Buffett during this lunch?
I mean, at once, you have a man who's incredibly simple, and all of the interactions are really quite simple. But every topic we covered, you realize that there's amazing depth to every answer that he gives you. So the amazing thing is that I came out of the lunch last year exhausted. Warren was in top form, and
he's always like that.
I was all ready to take a nap or go and relax, because it was quite draining in a certain way, actually.
Well, Guy, did you use any advice, though? I mean, would you say any of his advice you use in your investments or even just in your personal life?
I guess he did give advice. The most important thing for me is that I came out of the lunch and I remember being right here, right outside of Smith & Wollensky's, and saying, I want to simplify my life. I need to get rid of all the extraneous complications that I have. And I think that as you know, I'm working to simplify my life. And that happened as a direct result of the lunch.
Really? So. Now, I know that you and Monish, you and your colleague, came in there with various topics, but you went through 54 topics afterwards and you counted. I mean, how did you sort them all? I mean, what came out on top in the end for both of you?
You know, I went through before with Monish how, you know, sort of like, Monish, should we prepare questions? And Monish is a very wise guy. He says, Guy, it will just flow. You will see. So it's not like we came with preconceived ideas, but of what we were going to ask, except that we weren't going to ask him what he was buying or selling. But
why not?
Well, we knew he wouldn't answer it. We've been regular attenders at the meetings, and we know that he doesn't want to talk about that. And we knew that if we started pushing on that topic, he'd probably clamp up on other topics. So one topic tended to lead to another, and we had 4 adults at the table who were all very curious. So I think that we didn't go in as much depth in any particular topic as we would have liked to have gone into. But for example, I came and told him changes that I'd made in my fund in advance of the lunch. And then Monish, that would set off an idea with Monish, and he'd ask him another question about whether Warren had made any changes to his fund over the life of the fund.
Really?
It went pretty rapidly.
And did you find that you found information that you just couldn't find anywhere else on Buffett?
I think more than the information is sitting in the close presence of the guy and realizing how highly intelligent he is and how capable he is of sizing up individuals. So it's more the sort of the emotional presence of the man and the intellectual presence.
Very quickly, advice for the current bidder right now?
Relax and enjoy and let it all seep over you.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Guy, for joining us. Back to you, Mark.
Betty Lou with Guy Spier of Aquamarine Capital Management. And stay tuned to Bloomberg. Coming up, Patricia Wu will